Okay. So the tricky part about this one is you can turn it into 2 shapes instead of 3. Of course, there's a million ways you can divide it, but the easiest way is to connect right there. So what you end up, you have this white square. Ooh, that was a little bigger than it needed to be. You have this white square here, and then you have this gray area around, and what we want is the gray area. So you're going to find area of the blue square, and then you're going to find area of the yellow square or rectangle, and then you're going to subtract. You're taking out that yellow square. So the blue square, we have 8 and 12. And the yellow square, we have 4 and 4. And your last step is going to be to subtract. So same kind of thing is going to go for this shape here. You've got one great big rectangle, and inside of that you have a triangle that you're going to subtract. So your rectangle formula are going to work together. So make sure on your rectangle you're using 10 and 6. 7 is not the rectangle. 7 we're going to use for the triangle. Base is going to be 6. So we talked about when you multiply by 1/2, it's the same as dividing by 2, and you can multiply in any order you want. So I'm going to multiply 1/2 times 6 and get 3, and then I'm going to keep the 7. And then 3 times 7 is 21. Now again, you're subtracting big rectangle minus the triangle. So your next shape is not quite as cut and dry simple. There's no subtracting easy tricks to do. You're just going to have to divide it into shapes. So you've got a triangle up here. And then there's a couple ways you could do the next division. You could do it this way, but I'm not going to do it that way. I'm going to divide this way. So I have a rectangle here. Oh my gosh, that's so frustrating. Sorry, guys. I have a rectangle here, and I have a rectangle here. So that's 3 different formulas. So I'm going to need my triangle formula. I'm going to need my rectangle formula, and I'm going to need another rectangle formula. So when I look at the triangle, I'm only... So 1/2 stays 1/2. I have a height of 2. And my base is a little less obvious. For my base, I need this whole side right here. And I know it's 1 inch here and it's 1 inch here. But what is the distance from here to here? And I'm going to have to use, it's 8 inches from here to here. And it's 5 inches from here to here. So this, 8 minus 5, makes it 3 inches there. So altogether, I have 3 inches plus 1 inch plus 1 inch. My base is 5 inches. And I know that's really tricky. It really is. There's no shortcut to that. You just have to learn, solve the problem. It's a puzzle. So 2 divided by 1, or 2 divided by 2 is 1. So that means area of the triangle is 5. Then I have area of the rectangle, which is 8 and 3. Then I have the blue rectangle, which is 4. And if you remember, we said this was 3. And then you're going to add them all up. I know it's a lot. Okay, the next one, way easier. You have a square and a triangle. Now, the tricky part is they want to make sure you know how to read these little hash marks. So looking at the square, the base is 6, and this little line right here and right here means it's equal. And this line here says it's also equal, so they all equal 6. And remember, you can multiply anything by 1/2. You're just dividing by 2. So now it's 3 times 6. And then you're going to add them together.